What's happening, guys, and welcome back to Top 10 Nerd. With news of the next Flash movie featuring Michael Keaton back as Batman and a new Supergirl spotted on set, we couldn't be more excited for future Flash goodness. So to make sure whatever reality we end up in that movie, we figured we'd touch base on other versions of the Scarlet Speedster. That being said, you know why you clicked this video. I'm Taylor McWaters, and here are top 10 ultimate versions of the Flash. Let's do it. Number 10, Jay Garrick. He made his first debut back in Flash Comics issue 1. He was the first Flash, so we figured we gotta start with him. He rocks the blue pants and the red top with a lightning bolt. Classic look, but the thing that stands out the most with Jay is probably his winged hat, Hermes' helmet. He's got super speed and pinpoint accuracy with a helmet. He'll throw a helmet at your kneecaps if he can't catch you. This dude is a badass. He wasn't on a god level like some of these other versions that I'll mention, but he could run at the speed of sound, which back in the 40s, that was quite impressive. Jay went to Midwestern University in Keystone City, majoring in both chemistry and physics, but when an experiment to purify water went south, these fumes knocked him out for a whole week. During that beauty sleep, Jay's body rejected nutrients and his metabolism increased greatly. When he did finally wake up, his new powers got him a spot on the Justice Society of America while remaining a scientist. He's getting it done, heroic way and in the nerdy way. We love him. Number 9, Barry Allen. One of the most popular versions of the Flash, of course, has got to be Barry Allen. He made his first appearance in Showcase issue 4. When he was just a child, his mother was sadly killed and his father was convicted of the crime. Barry was so determined to prove his father's innocence, so he went to school at Sun City University, receiving a major in organic chemistry and a minor in criminology. As an adult, he moved to a Central City apartment and began dating Iris West, a reporter from Picture News. An electrical storm hit one night when Barry was working on an experiment when a bolt of lightning hit him while shattering a cabinet full of chemicals. Now this resulted in Barry being now the fastest man alive, and he tried to hail a taxi, but when he ran after it, he was much further than he intended on going. Pretty sweet discovery. He used his power to save Iris West from a stray bullet, and after that point he knew he had to do more. The first villain Barry ever went toe-to-toe with, ironically, was the Turtle Man. Barry wasn't used to controlling these speeds yet, so he would just keep whizzing by him in random directions. It was actually pretty stressful. The Turtle guy did not bad. Slowest guy on Earth versus the fastest guy on Earth, and somehow it came close. He was in a rowboat and he's like, "Can't catch me, Barry." He's like, "I can." And before we continue on with this list, if you want to go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, that would be awesome. It helps us out so much here on the channel. You guys are the best. Now let's get right back to this list. Number 8, Wally West. So after Barry Allen sacrificed his life in the Crisis on Infinite Earth storyline back in 1985, it was Wally West who stepped up to take on the Flash mantle next. He popped up for the first time in the Flash issue 110. He was born in Blue Valley, Nebraska, and he grew up daydreaming about being the Flash one day. So when his Aunt Iris was dating Barry Allen, like the Flash that he dreamt of being, it was like a dream come true. It was like meeting your idol. He was in Barry's apartment and the chemical cabinet was the exact same as how when Barry got his powers, so Wally just had to ask about it. Well, it turns out the weather was also the exact same on this night because Wally wished that he would become the Flash, and it happened. Lightning hit, creating another speedster. That's pretty encouraging. I'm just gonna go hang out near my medicine cabinet next time there's a storm. Just wait. Number 7, Lia Nelson. Earth 9's version of the Flash is one of the most powerful and popular. Double whammy. She's actually the second most recognized person on the planet, despite traveling at blink and you'll miss it speeds. She made her first appearance in Tangent Comics Flash issue 1 back in 1997, created by Dan Jurgens, Todd DeGazzo, and Gary Frank. Now, Lia was famous since birth, not because of her whole abilities, but because her parents were the first astronauts to go on the Jupiter mission. Once Lia grew up and learned how to control these abilities, she took on the alias The Flash, but still wasn't sure if she was loved by the public because of her abilities or just because of who her parents are. Kind of like a Kardashian. She joined the Secret Six later on, but her main goal was to get rid of that world's Harvey Dent, aka Evil Superman. She even got Wally West to help join the fight in Tangent Superman Reign issue 1. Lia is made of light, like literally she could control and manipulate light, but perhaps one of the best features is that she's an amazing actor. Like that would definitely come in handy. During Countdown Arena issue 1, Lia pretended to be a damsel in distress to manipulate Jay Garrick of Earth 2. So many skills. I love it. Number 6, Kingdom Come Flash. On our last list, we were breaking down 10 different versions of Superman, so if you haven't checked that out, do so after this video. It should be somewhere over there. But in it, of course, we mentioned the Kingdom Come storyline. In the Flash of Earth 22, Wally West was the father of Kid Flash and a member of the Justice League. So after Superman had retired, he took his job into overdrive. He was sprinting crime scene to crime scene, just a constant force. You couldn't even have a conversation with the guy. He was that busy. Lots to do now that Supes is gone. I mean, more than fair. The Kingdom Come storyline is one of the most compelling for our characters, especially because the Flash couldn't stop. He didn't have a choice to retire. He had a daughter in this reality as well, named Kid Flash, so he was busy. Number 5, Zoom. Making his first appearance in the Flash Secret Files Origins issue 3, Hunter Zolomon, aka Zoom, believed himself to be the true Flash. He was the main enemy of Wally West Flash, and he took his name and appearance from the original Reverse Flash. Now, it all began when he was injured in an attack from Gorilla Grodd. He was left paralyzed from the waist down, so he asked Wally West if he could, use the cosmic treadmill and maybe go back in time and prevent that horrible life-altering event to take place, something like that. But it's not that easy. Wally said he couldn't do it because you can't risk the time stream. But Hunter was so desperate, he broke into the museum and tried to use the treadmill, but this resulted in an explosion that gave him super speed. Going, of course, by the name Zoom, he believed that Wally West declined to help out because he never experienced loss. He had no idea what he was talking about, I guess. So Hunter took it upon himself to take out Linda Park, Wally's wife. What a horrible way to teach a life lesson. And then in the Flash issue 200, Wally West uses his powers to freeze Zoom and make him repeat the worst day of his life over and over. That's honestly a pretty messed up thing to do, Wally. I mean, it's not very heroic, but we get it. You kind of sound like a villain though. I mean, someone repeating the worst day of their life? Jesus, dude. Just ground them. Make them bored. Number 4, Avery Ho. One of the leading members of the Justice League of China, Avery Ho's Flash made her first appearance in the Flash Volume 5, Issue 3. She got her powers through the Speed Force storm of Central City, and at first she didn't have much control over them at all. She would just constantly vibrate, which sounds like a headache. It sounds like a nightmare, not being able to stop vibrating. Oh my god. She was visited by Barry Allen though, and he taught her how to control that vibrating problem, and then later on, she was brought to Dewan Speed Force Academy to learn even more. When an unknown speedster was killing the current speedsters, Avery was able to warn Barry, and in the end she was one of the lucky ones who got to retain her powers while dealing with Godspeed, who I'll explain later on. Number 3, Black Flash. Making its haunting first appearance in the Flash Volume 2, Issue 138, the Black Flash was said to be seen right before the deaths of Barry Allen and Johnny Quick. Max Mercury had a close call with death, so he too saw it. It's literally the personification of death, and at first it came for Wally West, but instead it took his girlfriend Linda Park into the Speed Force. When it later returned, Wally had backup this time. The only ones that could help were the ones connected to the Speed Force, like Jay Garrick, Max Mercury, Jesse Quick, so on and Danforth. They all joined the battle, and finally Wally was able to defeat the Black Flash. Wally raced it to the end of time to do so. He raced it to a place where death had no meaning, so in turn, it just dissipated. Now, the title Black Flash was also used when Professor Zoom was in his Black Lantern form. Little fun fact. Number 2, Red Death. An evil fusion of Batman and the Flash. Say no more. Batman was the hero of Gotham City. He had his Robins, the usual story, but slowly as his sidekicks were biting the bullet, Bruce Wayne wanted more power to prevent the next one from happening. But he felt like still he wasn't fast enough. He felt like if he had the Flash's power, he could have done a better job. So he tried. He took out every Flash villain, he took all their weapons, and he used it to fight Barry Allen. Batman used his Batmobile and merged it with the cosmic treadmill, absorbing his powers, and then the Red Death was born. Now at this point, the Red Death was totally fine with killing. And even worse, he was okay with Barry's consciousness living inside of him, telling him to stop. Man, I thought having a song stuck in your head was bad. Imagine Barry Allen. It'd be a nightmare. And finally, number 1, Future Flash. The Flash from the Out of Time storyline made his first appearance, last appearance, I guess, in the Flash Volume 4, Issue 30. Now we're talking 20 years into the future, and at this point Barry witnessed the death of Wally West and he felt guilt. He used his powers to go back in time and kill every enemy that was somehow involved in the path leading there. He does this, but eventually he comes into contact with himself, present day Barry Allen. And then Wally also shows up to stop this dark future Barry, so it's one of those weird ones. It's one of those storylines where Future Flash was actually always responsible for the death of Wally 20 years later. You can't change fate, no matter how fast you can run. Guys, there you have it. Those are 10 ultimate versions of the Flash, but before you go, make sure if you haven't done so already to hit that subscribe button, and then we'll do the rest. Also, drop us some comments on topics you wish to see in future videos, and we'll try to get around to as many of them as we can. I've been your host, Taylor McWaters, and we'll see you next time on Top 10 Nerd. Peace.